In Boston Village, Chairman Nikolai Alvarado is putting the spotlight on illegal logging and pointing fingers at two government ministers. Alvarado says he teamed up with police officers on Thursday evening to confront loggers operating in the Salt Lake Creek Estate area. But just as things were heating up, the loggers made a phone call to Orange Walk South Area Representative Jose Mai. Alvarado claims that call may have stopped police from taking action.
And I got the three police and they came out here and the police told them you cannot move nothing else from here. So the Mennonite start talking on the phone, and he's called his boss called ministers in the north, and then they call the police officers them to tell them to stand down. The police officers said we will not stand down, we are doing our job. So this
Ministers in the north.
Ministers, the boss of the police, because when the police answer the phone, the police say yes boss. So the minister identify himself as the boss, and then from there they tell.
How did you ascertain that perhaps it was a minister on the phone?
Because I told the officer let me talk to the guy. When I talked to him, I addressed him and I knew who it was, and I said, look, these guys are doing illegal logging. They're here and they're in Salt Creek Estate. They don't have no permit for right here, right? So the officers are doing their job. They need to do their job. They're out here in the mosquito getting bite at night. Let them do their job. So the phone was hung up and the officer says, we will do our job. Even if we have to lose our job or get redirected, we will get the job done.
Alvarado isn't just calling out illegal logging, he's naming names. He says the police boss involved is Home Affairs Minister Karim Musa. So we reached out to both Musa and Orange Walk South Area Rep Jose Mai to get their side of the story. Mai took our call, and here's what he had to say about Alvarado's claims.
So when they called, I think Minister Musa was along with me, right? So he asked to speak to the police to get clarity on the matter. At no point Minister Musa told the officers to stand down. What he said was this is a matter for forestry to deal with. We are not there. We don't know what the exact situation is. So he called for clarity, right? And then he said, I think to the policeman, that is a matter for forestry to deal with. And I think forestry went over there to the look at it. But nobody gave instructions for the police to stand down. That is not true. I was with Minister Musa at the time.
Why did they call you?
Because the guys who have the concession are from my constituency. So they called me, I think, right? And I said, I don't know if the police is there. Maybe Minister Musa can speak to them and get clarity on the matter.
The loggers say bad weather kept them from clearing out logwood before their concession expired in July. But Chairman Alvarado wasn't convinced. After he threatened to bring in the media, forestry officials and police showed up to investigate. They found a logging truck abandoned at the entrance and hidden in nearby bushes, another piece of heavy-duty equipment tucked away under the forest canopy.
About 3 months ago, it came to our attention that there's mud on the highway, right? So from the time there's mud on the highway coming from this area, we know there's always people doing illegal logging around here. So myself, my dad, and a couple of the workers from the park and the village came on the bikes, the ATVs. We came to the back here. We didn't make it too far because the ATV got a stick inside of it and we couldn't go. So the Mennonite guys, they came back and they met with us. I told them, do you have a concession? They said, yes. I said, let me see it. So he pulled out a map and I showed him my GPS map where we are. I said, you're not in Lucky Strike. This is Boston Village and there's no log in here that you could log because you guys took it out years ago. Every year they do this, right? So I told him, there's nothing else in Boston for you to log. He said, well, they got approval from the minister and blah, blah. I said, well, nothing is here. You cannot take nothing from Boston. So I tell her, you guys like to play smart. I know why you got that concession for over this side. I said the only place that has logs is Salt Creek Estate, right? Because that's a big portion all along the coast from Sandhill all the way to Bomba, right? That's where we are right now.
Alvarado, joined by forestry officers, pushed deeper into the logging trail, and what they found confirmed villagers' suspicions. The loggers were working outside their concession boundaries. On site, a forest officer began stamping and seizing the illegal logwood. Former Chairman Ephraim Leal was furious, and now villagers want the proceeds from those logs to benefit the community.
Most of our animals, especially like the givenat, we call the park kind of thing, they live off the seed off of these trees, off of the mahogany seed, the Santa Maria seed, the parrot, they eat all these things, and they come in, take all the always when you the villager want something now to build something, you know, because sometimes you find poor villagers want to come and cut one tree down and make some wood benali hug or something. Nothing exists because these guys come in, cut everything, and they carry it. And like the witness here today out here, you see these small logs right here, the forestry is cut foot in these logs. I'm not a forest officer, right? But if you're on cut foot a log, you know, cut foot the head and the tail because me personally come behind and take my son, cut off that and cut off that.
Villagers are concerned that if the logwood goes back into the hands of the government, it may end up right back with the loggers that cut them down. We will continue to follow. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.